Good morning, class. I am Dr. Juana Mendenhall, and today we are going to learn about the ideal gas law. So previously we learned about other gas laws that talked about the relationship to temperature and pressure and volume and temperature. Now today we're going to bring all those concepts together to discuss how the ideal gas law is created. In the ideal gas law, we look at two important variables. These are pressure and volume. And so when we multiply pressure times volume, we can determine from the ideal gas law that this is equal to N, the numeral N, lowercase n, times R, which is the ideal gas constant, times PV equals nRT, times temperature. So the ideal gas law equation that we will discuss today is pressure times volume equals nRT. Again, let's go back over this. Pressure times volume equals N, which is the number of moles, times R, which is the ideal gas constant, times temperature. Now, you would say, why is this important? Well, when we think about how gases expand in various systems, say an internal combustion engine, these type of equations allow mechanical engineers and physical chemists and chemical engineers to calculate how gases essentially expand in an engine of a car. And so by understanding how gas can actually transmit through these different pistons in an engine, we can look at essentially how pressure affects this, how things expand as far as volume, and we can determine the number of molecules throughout that compression cycle. And so using this, we can also determine unknown variables. Say, for instance, you know the volume that happens in that system, but you want to know the pressure. So then we would have to reorganize the mathematical equation to solve for pressure. So for instance, we would say that pressure would be equal to nRT over V. And we would divide the number of moles, the ideal gas constant, and the temperature by volume. This would help us determine the pressure that is exuded in that system. And so what makes this so fascinating is that a lot of times, as we know about rockets that are launched off into space with NASA or even SpaceX, understanding how pressure and different gases combust at different temperatures and the amount of the gas that's present allows us to say, hey, we can use this to launch a rocket to the moon, or can we eventually travel to Mars? That is the question. So by fundamentally understanding how we can calculate and navigate through these different type of equations allows us to determine how pressure and volume equals nRT, which is our ideal gas equation.